Good evening, Seneca Valley. I'm Alex Osman with the Seneca Scout. We have a great variety of stories today, ranging from out in the far reaches of space all the way locally to Cranberry Township. So, let's get started. First off, we've got a true crime story for you today. In an ironic twist of fate, Roger Reese Kibb, better known as the I-5 Strangler, has died. The 81-year-old serial killer has been taken out in the same fashion as his victims, strangulation. Officials report that he was found unresponsive on Sunday, but no charges have been filed against his cellmate, who was standing near his body. Kibb raped and murdered at least 7 women between the 70s and the 80s. Detectives think he had more victims, but Kibb never confessed. Investigator Vito Bertaccini, who tried to bribe Kibb into admission for 20 years, said the strangler's manner of death is some fitting justice. The jury selection process for the Derek Chauvin trial officially began on Monday, March 8th. The police officer has been charged with manslaughter and second-degree murder of George Floyd, whose death set in motion a wave of international protest and renewed calls for racial justice in policing. Now, it is the Hennepin County court system's job to find 16 eligible citizens to serve as jury members. The court called a large pool of local citizens as possible candidates. These citizens must fill out a questionnaire about their political beliefs and actions over the past month to prove that their verdicts are not entirely decided from the start. However, there is concern that not enough is being done to ensure a fair trial. Once the 16 jury members have been approved, the trial itself will not begin until March 29th. The legalization of recreational marijuana is becoming more prevalent as an increasing amount of states legalize the use. The Seneca Scout dives into the issue with different perspectives thanks to this package from our very own Will Scaboloni. Take a look.
Currently a big and dividing issue across the nation, and particularly here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the issue of legalization of recreational marijuana has people on both sides with strong opinions on the subject.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure that's the safest thing. So many people get addicted to drugs, and the fact that it's legal is going to be a lot harder for police and for the goodness of people.
I think that weed should be legalized because, in my opinion, it's the same as alcohol and it can be used for good purposes.
I feel like there are worse things that could be legalized. I don't have a problem with it as long as there are more restrictions on who can buy it, who can use it and stuff.
I think marijuana is more healthy for you and it should be legalized.
So I'm not entirely on board with legalization, but what I am on board with is decriminalization. I think that the prison sentences are absurd. I think that it really needs to be toned down, that kind of stuff. That's kind of how I stand on it.
In the state of Pennsylvania, the only legal marijuana is medicinal, okay? And in order for someone to receive medicinal marijuana, they need a prescription from a licensed doctor. Currently, recreational marijuana in the state of Pennsylvania is not allowed.
Both Governor Tom Wolf and Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman are strong supporters of legalization and decriminalization of recreational use of cannabis. The pair have already paved the way for legalization of medical use in many cases in the Commonwealth.
33 states allow medicinal marijuana usage in their state. 15 states, plus Washington, D.C., allow the recreational sale of marijuana. Since this is a government class, one of the government issues that we talk about is called federalism. So the question we try to answer is, how come the federal government is allowing states to legalize marijuana medicinally or recreationally, even though the federal government is viewing it as being 100% illegal in any sense of the word? So the kids are given various research topics in groups, and then the group's research topics are broken down into subtopics, and each individual has to do their own research and then present or create a presentation as a group that they present to the class based on their findings that relate directly to the topic that they are given.
With many other states legalizing recreational use, including states like New Jersey that passed legalization this past November, it is said that this puts added pressure on Pennsylvania to legalize recreational cannabis. Some say it is just a matter of time before marijuana becomes legalized in Pennsylvania. This is Will Scaboloni with the Seneca Scout.
Thank you for that interesting package, Will. The last few shows, we've brought you exciting news from space, and this week is no different. A Spanish astronomy research team, CARMENS, recently published a study by astronomer Trifon Trifonov that talked about the discovery of a new exoplanet named Gliese 486. For 25 years, astronomers have discovered planets outside of our solar system called exoplanets. Some of these exoplanets have characteristics that are similar to Earth, which has led scientists to believe that they could potentially be new homes for humans sometime in the future. Gliese 486 is only 26 light years from Earth and is essentially a super hot Earth. This discovery has excited astronomers because if it was 100 degrees hotter, the planet would be covered in lava, and if it was 100 degrees colder, it would be just similarly uninhabitable. So if it wouldn't have been suitable for further investigations, it would not have been suitable for further investigations if that were the case. So the planet is at the perfect temperature for future breakthroughs. Moving locally, a Cranberry Township-based business is in hot water with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development due to allegations of discrimination against individuals with mental disabilities. Perry Homes Incorporated is being sued for not accommodating for individuals who need emotional support animals. Southwestern Pennsylvania Legal Services Incorporated called Perry Homes on multiple occasions testing to see if they would allow emotional support animals, and according to the charge, on 5 separate occasions, Perry Homes denied the request even when the testers said they had paperwork or claimed to have specific conditions such as PTSD. These allegations are not without opposition, as the representatives of Perry Homes are claiming that the probe conducted was an overreach of government authority. Regardless of the validity of the probe, these allegations, if true, would be a direct violation of the Fair Housing Act, which protects individuals from being discriminated against in a manner of different housing-related activities like getting a mortgage, renting a home, etc. Lastly, tonight we turn to what would have been the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. This week, Japan made a decision to hold this summer's Olympic Games without overseas spectators due to concern about the coronavirus. The Summer Olympics are scheduled to begin on July 23rd after having been postponed by the pandemic by about a year. The decision also applies to the Olympic torch ceremony, a normally public event which begins later this month. A poll of Japanese citizens found that the vast majority were not in favor of foreign spectators, even though it would bring a lot of economic help to the country, not help, but and tourism. Though Japan has not been as adversely affected by the pandemic as the United States and Europe, citizens and government officials agree the lack of overseas spectators is the right course of action. Glad they're being safe. That's all we have for you tonight, Seneca Valley. Tune in next week for more local, national, and international news. Until then, I'm Alex Osmond, and this is the Seneca Scout.